Let me pick up on Mark 14. I think what Darrell had to say is absolutely right on target, and it's a key thing that we have to wrestle with. I want to add a couple other points here. Jesus is coming in before Caiaphas, and he's on trial. Caiaphas, the high priest, who gets to go into the Holy of Holies once a year and to actually be in God's presence, at least in terms of the temple configuration on earth. Jesus is claiming that he's not only going to be able to go into God's presence, but he's going to be able to park there in the real temple, where really God is, where this is an example of it, if you will, or a pattern of it. And consequently, he is turning the tables on Caiaphas, and he's saying, you're the one who's on trial. I'm the one who's judging you. He could have just said, I'm king, and that would have been enough. But what he does is he says, I'm in the same throne room as God. I still sit on his seat. I'm the judge of you. This is incredible stuff. Now, if you go a little bit later to another chapter 14, this time Acts chapter 14, you see Paul and Barnabas preaching in Lystra. And these people who do not speak Greek are claiming that we've got a couple of Greek gods here. When Paul finds out about it, Acts 14, verse 14, the first thing he does is he rips his clothes. And the reason he does that is that's symbolic to say, you have blasphemed. Now, Caiaphas does that when Jesus claims what he does. Paul does that when these Lystrans claim that Paul and Barnabas were gods. And consequently, for Jesus to make this statement is a thing that would be blasphemy if he truly were not God himself.
And even just as significant as the idea that the very title or concept that Paul refuses to receive is the very title or concept Jesus does welcome. And so it shows a difference between Jesus and his followers. And sometimes people who claim Jesusanity say that Jesus was trying to reveal that we all are children of God in the same sense. No, not at all. Jesus is unique, and he's unique in his claims, and he makes us children of God and sons of God, but not in the unique sense that Jesus is Son of God.
Not only that, but you have that in Revelation 19 where John gets so overwhelmed by the presence of an angel, he bows down before him. And the angel says, get up, don't do that. I'm just a servant like you are. So it's not just human beings, but even angels are not in the same category as Jesus Christ.
This is great stuff. I mean, it's there in the historical record. You got to deal with it. I remember looking at it as a student, I thought, I got to deal with this
It's
thing.
incredible, but it's not incredible in the sense that Borg was talking about, that it's unbelievable. It's incredible because it is a message that comes from God that bears the unique authority and stamp of God, as opposed to being something that's not believable.
Talk about the fact is, yeah, it was incredible to some people back in that day. It was a stumbling block. In what sense was it a stumbling block?
I mean, Borg says this is an obstacle for belief. Of course it's an obstacle for belief. That's why Paul got persecuted. That's why he said to the Jews it's a stumbling block, to Greeks it's foolishness. One of the things that I think is fascinating is when you start looking at the earliest form of Christianity, what we have in the New Testament, it was a message that was not palatable either to Greeks or to Romans or to Jews. When you get into the 2nd century and you look at Gnosticism, here's something that's fitting into a Neoplatonic worldview. It's very palatable to them. And yet, that's not the view that won out, because it's not the view that changed lives, because it's not the view that went back to Jesus or back to the apostles or to their disciples.
Jesus' message was politically incorrect, but it was cosmically correct.